All right, we bring in Jeff Keane, Razorback legend, all-time great here in the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And Jeff, that was Kevin Trainer with Arkansas Athletics announcing that your former coach is going to join you in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. And I wonder if you could just detail and characterize for audience how important your relationship with then was with Coach and how it still is today.
Yeah, nothing but super fond memories of Coach DeBriyn. I probably got to know him now better than I did when I played there, but he's just a wonderful guy, wonderful baseball guy, caring, been a good friend, good supporter to me, and I'm just so happy for him.
I think one of the things that I think I've heard Coach say, and I've heard others say about you is, and I think you've said it yourself, is you kind of like to fly under the radar a little bit. You don't necessarily like to be the center of attention. You came in as a true freshman, and you got to play right away. Jeff, how did you kind of balance that, not only here in Fayetteville, but also when you got to the majors and played over a decade?
Well, I've had more time. Not more time. I probably reflected on my time at Fayetteville more in the last year or two than I did since I left, just with being honored, being inducted into the Hall of Fame and different things. And it's just crazy. I mean, I can say confidently it was just a divine appointment that brought me to Fayetteville, and it was the right place for me. And I've got to give the coaches a lot of credit. And Norm gave me a chance to play as a freshman, and I did. I don't have any idea if that's the norm or not. Looking back, I've wondered about that, but to be in a place where the coaches put the best guy out on the field and gave me an opportunity to compete. And, what more can I say? It was a great experience there and great coaches, great place for me. And Norm's a great guy. And I just, like I said earlier, couldn't be more happy for him.
Jeff, I was at the game where they brought you out, introduced you to the crowd, and called the Hogs against Texas. And they said on the public address it was your first time back in Fayetteville since '86 when you played. Is that accurate? And B, why such a lengthy time between trips to Fayetteville?
Yes, that is true. The first time back since I left, and all I can say, life happens. You go off and you play and you get married and you have kids, and, it's not like it's on the way to a whole lot over the years. And always had wanted to get back there, and I'm glad I took that opportunity to come back. Brought back a lot of great memories, saw Norm again, and, of course, the players that I played with back in '85, and it was great. Like I said, it was a perfect place for me, and I'm not sure. Looking back, I could have picked even where Arkansas.
We lose Jeff. There you are. We lost that. Yeah, we got you here now. We lost the tail end of what you had to say there.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's just crazy. I looking back, I probably couldn't have found Arkansas on a map, or let alone Fayetteville, and didn't know what a Razorback was. And just like I said, it was just a God thing, really.
Yeah. So I can only imagine someone that hadn't been in Fayetteville since 1986, been on the campus. The place where you played, George Cole Field, is now a parking deck. I mean, just driving up Razorback Road from MLK up to the football stadium. What were your thoughts as you saw just how the campus has evolved, and as your first look ever at Baum Walker Stadium?
Oh yeah, the new field is just crazy how nice it is. That's probably the nicest facility I've played at, including the major leagues. Yeah, I did. I was with a friend, and we made sure to drive by the old field and I guess really what went through my mind was kind of takes me back to 10 years ago. I grew up in Colorado Springs, and I hadn't been back there forever, and we were driving through there, and I was just carrying on about how it's being built up, and look at this and look at that, and my wife said, well, a lot can happen in a quarter of a century. So that's the first time I felt old, and going back to Fayetteville was a similar experience. It was hard to recognize anything, so it's but it was fun. Like I said, super happy to go back.
Former Razorback All-American third baseman Jeff Keane with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Jeff, you mentioned life kind of gets in the way of sorts. You've had a few kids and grandkids since then. I think are you still working on the cattle ranch? Kind of catch up to date on your personal life.
Okay, yeah. Well, I sold the cattle ranch, and we live in Whitefish, Montana now, and
Ooh.
I've got a lot of the kids have moved up here, and I've got 8 grandkids so far, and so that keeps me somewhat busy, but I'm always looking for stuff to do. I like to stay busy, but semi-retired, I guess.
Good for you. Sounds like you're doing the things that you love and enjoy each and every day. That's awesome. So when we reflect and we're talking with Jeff King about Norm DeBriyn elected and we'll go into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Any good Norm stories? We've had Scott Tabor's a good buddy of ours, comes on. He's always good for a Norm story. You got any good Norm DeBriyn stories that when people ask you about him that they come right to mind?
To be honest with you, probably not. And, not many people I know would know who Norm DeBriyn is, but, he was kind of a no-nonsense guy, but, getting to know him, with a big heart, and, he put baseball on the map and in Fayetteville and was there for, I think, 30-some years.
Yeah,
and so congratulations to Norm, and like I said, just so proud of him, and congratulations.
Jeff, tell us about the 85 team. You referenced them earlier. I know that's 40 years ago. It's one of the best teams in Razorback history. What do you remember about that team?
Well, that brought back memories of watching or kind of following the team this year and to see what happened in the World Series. And I think that something similar happened to us when we were there. We had an unbelievable team. We all thought we could win the national title. And as I remember, right, we kind of gave away the game. We got beat by Texas, but we kind of gave that away, and Mississippi State beat us also, and I think we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there too. So we didn't win it, but kind of the same situation looked to me like as what happened this year.
I wonder as you look back, Razorback wise, and Tommy was just talking about the differences and stuff, and I know you're really excited to catch up with Coach DeBriyn. You mentioned your relationship has grown the last few years. I mean, teammates, do you still chat with teammates from time to time? Obviously, you got to see some of them when the reunion of the 85 team. Have you caught up with them since you got to see them for the first time in a while?
No, I haven't. And that was the first time I'd seen most of them. Although my best friend and roommate, Doyle Wilson, it was sure fun to catch up with him. I think I saw him 6 or 8 years ago, but. No, like I said, when being in Montana, you're not close to a whole lot, and but it was sure fun being there and seeing guys. It was kind of a weird thing too, I think I was my flight from Montana to Fayetteville. I had a layover in Denver, and I was getting ready to board the flight to Fayetteville in Denver, and this old guy came up to me to start talking. Kind of weird. It was just so weird. But until I remembered, finally, this was one of our pitchers, Pat Rice. And I seen him, so you can imagine how weird it was. I'm sure for both of us. 40 years later, we're all old men now, so
look a little different.
crazy.
Look a little different from 85 to 2025, right, Jeff?
That's right.
Jeff, last thing before we let you go, you mentioned Whitefish, Montana. There's plenty of great places to fish. What you mentioned being semi-retired. What's outside of family? What takes up your time in Whitefish, Montana?
Oh, I've had a few little building projects. Built a little guest house on our property, and kind of for overflow family and friends. And then I thought, well, I'll try to Airbnb it, and people really love it. So that kind of keeps me a little busy. I just bought an old fixer-upper and don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to work down there trying to rehab that. So
now, hang on. When you say do the work, are you talking like you got the hammer in your hands? You're doing the work?
Oh yeah, I'm a blue collar guy. I figured I just like to be busy and work, and that's when I feel the best.
Well, me and Ty lease screwdrivers, so I mean, so I don't think we'd be much assistance to you. So.
A little difference, a little difference there. Well, Jeff,
it sounds lovely, and we appreciate you being with us. I know it's an honor for you to be the first Razorback inducted in the Hall of Fame, and now have your coach that's going to join you early next year.
Yeah, great. Congrats, Norm.
All right, Jeff King, number 1 overall pick, Arkansas Razorbacks. Member of the 85 team and one of the legends in Razorback baseball. Appreciate your time this morning.
BetOnline continues to be your number 1 source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. BetOnline. The game starts here.